Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cafe Enchante, and we are just continuing where we left off. We're still in Chapter 3, we're going through the door, the gate, we're in Bestia, and here's Joey. Anyway. Bro! And Miss Owner! I was waiting for you! I'd like to cordially invite all of you to my bro's hometown, better known as the Firewolf Stronghold. I've already plotted a path for us to avoid detection from those smelly beasts, so don't worry about a thing. We're gonna get attacked every fucking step of the way. Right, we're counting on you. I was unsure if he had gotten over our last conversation, but Dromi welcomed us at the gate. Oh, at the gate entrance. Awkward as ever. Without taking any detours, we proceeded straight down the guided path. There's no place to detour. Of course, with the conditions and the distance, we took occasional breaks. We managed to make it there alive, huh? I feel more suspicious about that, Dromi. What do you have in store? Soon, I began to recognize my surroundings. As we ambled down the path which led us straight to the Firewolf Stronghold, this is where all the shit's gonna happen, we heard an electronic pinging sound, one that was foreign to this frozen world, coming from Mr. Rindo's pocket. That sound, of course, was none other than... Hello! Testing 1, 2! Why, it's the owner from Enchante, our fellow non-humans, and as a bonus, the geezer himself, Rindo. Everyone hear me? Yes, we can hear you. I'm hanging up now. Stop! How dare you attempt to interrupt the first lab test of my grand invention? Why can't you enjoy a good dialogue, eh, Rindo? Mikado's volume was cranked all the way up, making it so all of us could hear their playful banter. Playful. The geezer. You called him a geezer. I don't think it's not playful. It sounds a little hostile. I'm old. It's hostile. Anyway. Turn that stupid thing down. But isn't it cool? I can't believe we can make contact between Bestia and the human world. Seriously. Guess that proves it. Mikado really is a genius, isn't he? I don't know why the prospect would surprise you. It's really impressive, isn't it? I must say, although I'm no stranger to compliments, your flattery sounds extra clear over the transmitter. Mikado, if you're only calling us to brag about the transmitter, I'm going to hang up. Whoa! Hold your horses! You know that's not why I called. Now that we've conducted the field test, I actually have a small favor to ask of the expedition troop. A favor, you say? Indeed. No need to worry, though. It's nothing major. All I ask is that you keep the transmitter on whenever you're talking about Ignis, so that I can stay in the loop. The best way for me to study him is to obtain accurate intelligence about the man himself in the field. Hey, since when do you ask simple favors? Too right. But you're going to ask us something outlandish like bringing back a blood sample from every firewolf we see. Anyway, roger that. And just keep in mind that the transmitter is foreign tech here, so try to keep quiet if you hear something, okay? Mikado squealed, responding with energetic affirmation as our company set off again down the trail. The only thing I could think of was how different Bestia looked from day to night. Back then, the ice blocks were a deep azure, but now they were close to transparent. The trek was a lengthy workout. Just as my knees began to howl in pain, we finally reached our destination. That's how you know you're getting old, your knees start hurt, along with your hips. My hips are the worst. The men in our group visiting for the first time began inspecting the surrounding igloos and large torches with intrigue. So this is the Firewolf Stronghold. Unlike the other beast strongholds, this one is illuminated by torchlight. Given that they're wolf people, I'm sure they're all hot-blooded, but seeing this in a snowy wasteland is weird no matter what. Personally, I'm grateful for their warm accommodations, especially compared to the other strongholds. As soon as the firewolves took notice of us, the thin population began to buzz. The discomfort was palpable. I mean, you're a bunch of fucking weirdos walking into their house. All of the firewolves caught sight of Ignis, and the fires located beside their ears diminished without warning. Ignis, however, hadn't seemed to mind, and instead marched through the snow. Hey, Uncle, I got something to ask you. Ignis grabbed the arm of the man who, just a couple of days ago, delivered the earth-shattering news to him.
The old man shook his hand, signaling to a worried bystander that everything was fine.
Okay, I know this won't be sufficient to atone for the sins of lying to you about your entire life, but I will tell you everything I know.
Out of respect to Ignis's unwavering resolve, the old man nodded, obliging his resolve. He escorted our group to an empty igloo to begin the discussion. At first, we introduced ourselves. We took the time to explain to him the circumstances happening in my world. Then, Ignis's expression warped as he began to interrogate the man.
First things first, gotta ask, is it true that when I was a kid I lost my mind and slaughtered both the invaders and the firewolves?
Yes. After a long pause, the man nodded out of resignation.
We firewolves have been persecuted since ancient times, hence our people are vulnerable and capable of fighting. All we could do in the face of such atrocities was to turn, run, and hope to survive the slaughter. And those who managed to escape the carnage hid away, waiting until it passed, but
Ignis, having succumbed to his rampage, took the survivors and the intruders, and...
It was clear what became of them, hearing the deceased cry out in their dying moments. I see.
Ignis, reminded once again of the atrocities he had committed. As a child, no less, uttered in silent confirmation, choosing not to erupt in rage, but to nod instead. However, we all believed this to be the story's end.
And
the man, whose face sagged heavily with regret, continued to speak, pointing his nose at the ground while recounting his tale.
This might be a stupid question, but do you really have no recollection about anything from that day?
Ignis shrugged, offering his usual response.
I don't remember. Not a thing.
That's not true, because you started having memories coming back, like flashes, but... Despite his sincerity...
I see. Then I've no choice.
Sir, is something bothering you? The man stewed in his hesitant demeanor as Canis interjected. Then he let his gaze wander for a moment, all of us hanging on the edge of our seats as he unraveled.
During that incident, we lost many of our comrades who were lost during the invasion. Well, duh. If I killed pretty much everyone in the stronghold, friend or foe alike, then... No, that's not what I mean. Apart from those who died in the massacre, many of our kin were separated from us in the chaos. There were about a dozen of them. We never found their corpses, so we thought they had escaped.
Ignis was asked if he recalled any of them, though surprisingly, Ignis shook his head with an inquisitive gaze.
I see. I suppose all we can do for now is pray that our kin are alive somewhere.
Is it true that you covered up the truth in order to manipulate Ignis to operate as a personal defense force?
That's right. I have no excuse for that. I'm sorry.
He bowed his head deeply. All of us, including Ignis, could do nothing except wait quietly for the silence to pass. I mean, you could be mad at him for it, like, how dare you? But the thing is like, everybody was so against him and they probably wanted to, like, put him down or kick him out. And you at least protected him in a way. You were like, look, he's a monster! We've got... Granted, what he said, like, this monster! It's like, that's harsh. But, I mean, I guess you could look at it like if everyone was like, he's a yeah, well, this monster is the only thing that can fight, and we'll all die if we don't have him, so we might as well keep this freak here, right? Yeah, right? Even though he's like, yeah, I mean, sure, deep down he's probably like, there was something seriously wrong with you, and you're a little bit of a monster because you killed everyone, but if we can manage you and use you, then yes, it's awful, but at the same time, they would have killed Ignis. Or, like, cast him out, and at least they kept him here. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, like, 80% of what you did is douchey, but, like, the other 20% is like, okay, I mean, you still took care of him, I guess, so, yeah! You know what I mean?
That's about all I have to tell you about that day. Do you have any questions?
Oh, I do. We were looking into Ignis's so-called rampage instinct, so we're conducting some interviews. Is there anyone else we could speak with about it?
No. Everyone here will tell you the same thing, or close to what I told you.
He stopped in the middle of his sentence, as if something caught his eye.
Well, maybe Dromi there knows something. Oh, okay. See? Well, Dromi might know something. You son of a bitch. You fucking known all along, you shady... I'm telling you. He was among those who lived in the safety of our stronghold at the time, and he too survived the event. Besides, at the time, he was closest to Ignis.
With his unexpected remark, everyone pointed their eyes at Dromi.
What? I mean, he's not lying exactly, but I don't know nothing. Back then, I kind of just freaked out, fell on my ass, and passed out.
That's a load of bullshit? I feel like it's bullshit. Look, I just don't trust him, okay?
This just proves it. You've been useless forever, haven't you?
Hey, that's not fair. I don't appreciate having my entire life questioned either.
As Dromi sat there flummoxed. Mr. Rindo continued with his own question. Flummoxed. It's a fun word. Flummoxed. Have any other members of your clan gone on a similar rampage? Perhaps a distant ancestor of some kind. Does that ring a bell?
An ancestor, you say? Legends tell of the Firewolf's ancestral beast, a being with extraordinary power. I confess such a legend exists, however, with each generation the details become cloudier and cloudier. Even I couldn't recite it here accurately.
And Dromi fucking whips it out and knows. The man closed his eyes, conveying to the group that it was time we took our leave. As soon as we exited the stronghold, Mr. Rindo pulled out his transmitter. Mikado, you're in the clear to speak. How do you think our little talk went?
Well, there were holes in all of his stories. It's hardly what I'd call worth our time.
Even though I couldn't see Dr. Mikado's face right in front of me, I could see he was frustrated, sitting cross-armed on the call. I really hope he doesn't backstab us in Rindo's row, because I like Mikado. But I liked Venia too, and I still love Venia, even though, what the fuck? We made up with Venia at the end, and maybe we'll make up with Dromi at the end, but you know what? I'll forgive Venia, because I love him, he's beautiful, but Dromi, you're a pain in my fucking ass, you're out of the cafe. Everyone else in our group was the same, pondering with arms crossed or rubbed chins. I mean, I guess it depends on the level of your treachery. Throwing us into a tree till we suck the life out of us seems like it should, be the worst thing that any of them could do, but, I mean... They were all completely preoccupied with the idea of Ignis's rampage instinct. It may go without saying that his prowess in combat as a beast is incredible. But is Ignis the one and only beast capable of running rampant? Does anything about this tale sound familiar?
Nope. Doesn't ring a bell here either. If the information broker himself, Dromes, says as much, then hope is faint.
The other possibilities are... Maybe all firewolves are capable of rampaging, but it's never occurred to them that they've got the power. Are you suggesting that going on these rampages is a hidden firewolf ability?
No, if that were the case all along, then there'd definitely be one or two cases than just me.
But it's equally foolish to believe that a heretic would emerge into being one day without warning out of thin air.
Emerge into being, okay.
But it's equally foolish to believe that a heretic would emerge into being one day without warning out of thin air.
That makes more sense, sorry. As with what happened with Karya, one's power is deeply connected to their ancestry. I cannot help but think the answer lies somewhere in the heritage of the Firewolves.
But still, don't you think there's a problem if there's no one in living memory like me?
This goes back, okay, literally I totally forgot. I thought about it earlier in one of the other parts, not maybe the last part, maybe the one before. I kept thinking about that scene that we saw in the very beginning where I saw something weird and that person was doing some kind of weird chant in that fucking water cave, right? And I was because it dawned on me in one of the last couple parts within either the last part or the one before it. I didn't say anything, but I was thinking in the back of my mind, what about that? And I was well, maybe it wasn't, it would have to be Ignis, because in Candace, it was Candace's perspective, so, but I was well, maybe it was somebody else? But but now all of a sudden I'm you know what, that's where it happened, maybe that's how it happened, he saw those things, and maybe the rampage, because whoever he found in that cave had something to do with it? They put a curse on him or something. You know what I mean? Or, I mean, the way they're kind of pointing it out is like, okay, so maybe you're, like, there's a story. Oh, someone way back in the ye olde times. You're a descendant of that person, which would make sense of why you have this power. Okay, you know, it'd be like, if all of the firewolves all have, like, brown hair, but you have red hair, it's a weird recessive trait that you got from your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great ancestor up there, you know? So, but I have a feeling it has something to do with that cave. And the cave is either because it's going to tell the story, like, oh, that's where we're getting here. You know what I mean? Like, we have to find out about the past. Hey, I remember this cave! Cave's going to come back. But I'm still curious, because didn't he see someone in the cave? So, like, you know, that's a weird, I don't know. Anyway, I was just, there's like a bazillion different ideas flying around, and I can clearly not articulate them right now, but, you know, anyway. You know.
But still, don't you think there's a problem if there's no one in living memory like me? My dead mom and pops were both ordinary firewolves, so I hear.
I sat deep in thought, hoping to grasp the flicker of some great epiphany that would answer and ease all our concerns at once. But sadly, I was no expert. Truthfully, I hadn't the faintest clue what could induce a beast into a rampage. From my perspective, I felt like it was a submission to a baser self. Those minotaurs those minotaurs we encountered had certainly given credence to the claim. I can't read either. So I mumbled aloud. Is there anything in the realm of simple features or qualities that makes him different? Like, what separates Ignis from other beasts? But if I were to guess, if the answer was so easy to begin with, we wouldn't be in our current situation. Something that originally was little more than a blind pitch thrown under my breath.
Huh? Well...
I got it all at the same time. Of course, it's his enormous appetite. Huh? Miser, Mr. Rindo, and Mikado. Miser, Mr. Rindo, and Mikado. Wow. Wow. The game really does like alliteration. It's kind of fun. All had apparently picked up my idea, synchronized in their declaration.
What?
The claim caused Ignis's jaw to drop as he shot a wide-eyed stare back at them. I mean, Ignis, it wouldn't be a stretch to say you regularly eat meals at Enchante, would it?
Duh. Do you even need to ask? You see me every damn day. It's true that beasts don't usually consume food. Hunger just isn't a thing for us. But eating some food couldn't hurt, right?
Well, how do I say this? You're looking at this the wrong way.
Listen here, Ignis. It's not as simple as beasts not experiencing hunger. It's that they quite literally cannot eat. Water and ice are totally sufficient for a firewolf's diet.
Wait, don't tell me. You never knew this, Ignis. You never had trouble putting food down, so I didn't think to point it out.
What?
Ignis's cry echoed through the tundra so loudly it nearly triggered an avalanche. His reaction was shock, then anger. Not that the distinction saved us from flinching. But beasts can't eat? But how do you explain Ignis eating enough to feed a whole family in one sitting every single day? That controls his rage. Again, Ignis, you're not yourself and you go on a rampage and murder people and you're hungry. Always keep a Snickers on you. Ignis is a walking Snickers commercial. It's like an otherworldly Snickers commercial.
That is quite the paradox, isn't it?
What does this mean? Mikado cleared his throat, looking around the room as he continued. How do you know? Oh, you could see him maybe? Like, does it have a little, like, transmitter, like, you can see his face? Because how would you know he's looking around the room?
Well, ignorance comes as no surprise when one has been deprived of the chance to learn about other beasts' anatomy. To put it in layman's terms, 3 out of 4 of you non-humans, Miser, Ill, and Canis, and these 3 are categorized in terms of what we comprehend as spiritual beings. I won't go into the science behind it all, but they, like humans, can convert whatever they consume into energy. With Ignis, however, he If what I know about beasts is correct, she'd have no similar need for sustenance.
Which is weird, because beasts are like animals, and animals need food to survive, so it's very strange, but... why is that?
The reason's quite simple. The native peoples of Beastia, or beasts, have no digestive systems in their bodies.
Well, no wonder why you've put on some weight, like Il said. You've never pooped. Demon beasts, too. They all do not possess digestive organs and cannot eat. The most they do is wet their throat with water or ice. Ignis being able to eat like a normal person is an exception to the norm.
To date, I've examined over 300 Beastian species, all of which validate my assertion.
300.
You possess neither stomach nor intestines, yet somehow you manage to eat as if you do. If there's any distinction between Ignis and other beasts, then look no further than what stands before us.
Soon after he howled, then fell speechless. Where is he putting all that food if he doesn't have a stomach? Is this why you asked for Ignis's blood sample the last time all of us were together?
Indeed. I never received a single drop, though.
Come to think of it, Kororo didn't make a pass at the fish I gave him. And the most drome he ever had at Enchante was a cup of coffee or ice cream.
Huh? Yes. I think that's right. Hey, Jerome.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Was I supposed to say something? I always found it kind of funny that you ate, you know, big bro? I figured it was just a firewolf thing or something.
He fucking knows. He's not an idiot. He's not that stupid. My goodness. Okay, he is acting as if he does not know what the fucking fairy of death means. I'm just saying. We had an idiot moment. It was a Dromy moment. Stop. Okay. Who could have known his eating, which to us seemed normal, had unseen consequences? How do beasts normally generate stamina then? You're saying energy doesn't matter to them, right? It seems they're born with as much energy, which in our terms are essentially calories, as they need to live out their entire life. They consume this stock of calories little by little throughout their lifespan. I never knew that. It simply beggars belief. How can one picture Ignis as being anything other than face down in a meal? But the question remains as to how his penchant for eating and his capacity to rampage are connected. Ignis, on the other hand, had a peculiar reaction to this new revelation, one that was surprising in its own way. His somewhat thorny demeanor from earlier had mostly faded and was now replaced by total shock. All of a sudden, Kororo became unsettled and started to wriggle around in my arms. What's wrong, Kororo? Yeah! Like a rubber bouncing ball, Kororo leapt from my arms. From there, he landed and hopped onto the icy ground.
Ignis!
Kororo began flapping his arms around on the snow, all while calling Ignis's name. See, he was trying to tell us, Ignis food! Something about the food! I told you. I thought he was saying bring Ignis food, but then later it was like, it has something to do with Ignis and food. Come on.
Huh? You talking to me?
Can you understand him, Ignis?
Of course not.
Perhaps out of frustration with Ignis's lack of action, Kororo began to flail his arms forcefully. Then he pointed those arms in a certain direction. Someone finally had picked up on the small creature's gestures. It wasn't Ignis, but in fact Mr. Rindo of all people. I mean, he's obviously wants you to follow him. Mr. Rindo's like, I had dogs as a kid. Follow. What is it, Kororo? You want to? Is Timmy stuck in a well again? Does anyone else think that he wants us to head that way?
But that's...
Ignis pauses his sentence, shifting his eyes over to Dromy with a strange look of deep concern.
Oh.
What's over there?
Oh, nothing. Just my home. More specifically, where the Werecat stronghold used to be.
Where it used to be? Oh, that's right. Dromy's friends and family had also been annihilated by beasts. Sorry, I didn't mean to remind you of bad memories.
It's okay. That was a long time ago, and I have my bro with me now. The ocean's not too far from here, so maybe Cordodo's just fussing because he wants to go swimming?
Miser's like, Dromy, you ass. Since our investigation is at an impasse, why don't we let him shake a flipper for a bit?
Then I'll, chat with the firewolves again for info about bro, okay?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, he's like, he's stuttering. Why is he running away from us? I can only imagine how painful it was to return to the ruins of your fallen kin. Oh, good one. Okay. She's like, oh, he must be sad because he doesn't want to go there. No, he's trying to hide something. Dromy ran back to the firewolf stronghold with his eyes pointed at the snowy boulders. Dromy...
I don't feel too bad for him. He's got his reasons for going off.
He's trying to hide something. Yes, you're right. I wouldn't want to show him any disrespect. I pick Cordodo up and plow my feet through the plushy snow towards the sea to where Cordodo was inexplicably drawn. We're not going to have to swim down into that cave, are we? That's going to be cold as fuck. Close to the shore, the smell of sea salt hit my nose. Cordodo leapt toward the crashing waves. With that momentum, he dove into the ocean.
And from this angle, the little guy looks like any old seal. And this would make for a wonderful photograph, but at risk of angering Rindo again, I shall honorably refrain.
It was all smiles on that windy beach as Cordodo splashed playfully in the shallow water.
Man, how nice for you to take a dip. Thanks for totally ruining the moment.
In the end, nothing could ever take the wind out of Cordodo's sails. Then suddenly, I realized Ignis and I stood side by side, engaging in normal conversation at last. It then occurred to Ignis shortly after. He immediately reacted by averting his gaze. So I get closer to him. I missed the closeness that he and I shared once before. I took an inconspicuous step closer to him. By the looks of things, Ignis didn't exactly try to escape from me, but he still pursed his lips awkwardly. It was like we were thrust back in time, an awkward portrait of our early days. It felt rather lonely. After our conversation wafted into the ocean air, he and I stared blankly at the water. Hey, Ignis?
What?
Forgive me if saying this oversteps any kind of boundary, but after earlier, something about it made me happy.
Huh?
Beasts technically don't ever eat because they don't have to, right? If you were one of the beasts that couldn't eat, I would have never seen the look on your face after eating a big meal. A big, goofy smile.
Spacey.
I know that you're suffering right now, but I still want to spend time with you over at Enchante if you'd like to visit. I want to feed you whatever meal you want, every day of my life. Oh my god, this is so cute. Every day of my life. Like, I want to be with you forever. This is more like, I want to feed you every day of my life. In an Ignis way, it's adorable.
Every day?
Yes? I don't know how to say this, but that's how much Wait, what was I trying to say? Everyone else is just standing there like... Il was about to move and Rindo's like, slowly puts his hand out like, don't move or they'll know we're here. They're just staring at us awkwardly like from like 2 feet away like, they know we're here, right? Shh, don't say anything. Shh, just quiet. Don't move. Cordodo thrashed at the water violently, which splashed upward and hit Ignis in the face. Ignis's face. So good. We're just standing here in awkward silence. Water droplets trickled from the bridge of his nose to the tip until it dripped down. Ignis held this pose quietly, letting the curtain of water on his face fall slowly to the ground.
Ko-Odo?
It's Cordodo! You little... Unable to contain himself, Ignis nearly popped a vein from trying to roar at Cordodo.
Food! Ignis! Eat!
Huh?
Corrado poked his head out of the water to say something unusual. The others, who stood watching in the distance, gathered toward us, curious about what was going on. Now they move. They know what's going on. Corrado floated joyfully in the water, pointing his big eyes at us. Oh my god, did Ignis eat his family? We were searching for the sea bees. Oh, they're all dead. Oh my god, Ignis, you ate them. What the fuck?
Ignis! Food! Eat!
Said Corrado, before diving once more into the water and swimming away. Huh? Corrado! Wait, where are you going? The depths obscured Corrado's shadow, and suddenly he was gone.
That idiot! Doesn't he know how dangerous it is to swim in uncharted water?
We have to hurry and chase him! He was swimming down the eastward current. We must catch him before it's too late.
Hey, Cagebird! Think you could track Corrado down with a spell?
What's the matter? You needn't become involved if there's an issue.
No, he hasn't gotten too far yet. I can do it. I'll execute the spell at once.
Hill soared into the air, casting the same detection spell he had previously used to locate the Pakus.
Damn it, Corrado! Doesn't he know that this is Minotaur territory? He's always poking that snout of his where it doesn't belong.
Ignis mumbled to himself. Yelled. Presumably out of concern for Corrado. That's when... Ignis and food. I heard the little guy say eat, but food. Any idea how he figured out how to say a word like that?
Who knows? You're asking the wrong guy. Maybe he saw something on TV or heard it in town somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. But timing's too convenient for me. Why parrot such a random phrase? From a short distance, Miser and Mr. Rindo watched the situation with great curiosity. We should be like, no, he said it 2 days ago. What? Yeah, he said Ignis food. Ignis food. I thought he wanted food, but he didn't want food, and now I understand. Thanks to Ill's spell, we were able to track Corrado's location. The former angel glided above us, guiding us through the path on our pursuit. But at the end of our long run, we hit a dead end, our path blocked by a gigantic icy boulder. It seemed that the only way we could progress any further would be to dive underwater. Ill, noticing our predicament, landed on the ground, albeit while stumbling. Target's location confirmed. It seems Corrado is standing idly just through this underpass, through here. Good work, Ill. By the looks of it, it doesn't seem like you've fully recovered since the last time you were in Bestia. Looking for Spacey, have you? It's true. Huh? Really? It suddenly became evident to me. I noticed how the color had been draining from Ill's face.
You know, you'd be doing us a big favor by speaking up now and then. We wouldn't have to push you too hard.
But then, no one else could have successfully located Corrado. Isn't that right? However, pardon my request, but moving forward, I hope I'm of use to you in ways other than combat.
You've done enough, Ill. Rest up for now.
Indeed, an obstacle of this size poses no challenge for us. In one swift movement, Canis unsheathed his blade, raised it into the air, and shattered the huge block of ice. A path opened before us, but its entrance was damp and dimly lit. Excuse me, Human Torch, i.e. Firewolf? Is this an ice cave?
I had no idea this place was so close to the Werecat stronghold.
Ignis, it seemed, shared in my wonder at such a secluded location. I wonder why Corrado swam all the way here.
Probably just to mess with us. Let's nab him already so we can teach him a lesson.
As soon as we set foot inside, my skin clenched as the stone walls and ground insulated a punishing chill. I took a deep breath, hoping my resolve would warm me in the freezing depths. Soon we arrived at an opening, the cave that he swam to all those years ago, or someone did. The narrow path emptied into a wide hall. We can stand side by side with room to play. I mean, it had to have been Ignis, because it's his path, but... It wasn't exactly a cave, but rather a...
It looks like a shrine, made of ice.
I thought I might have faintly recognized the scene from a historical documentary. It's Icehenge. Then, in the pool of water situated at the center of the shrine was... Kiu! Kororo, poking his head out enthusiastically. Kororo, we were worried about you! I hold my arms out wide for him to come. Normally, whenever I pose like this, Kororo would cry out loudly and leap into my arms. But this time... Kororo? For some reason, he didn't budge. Instead, Kororo began to swim toward the rear of the shrine. Kiu! He emerged from the water and poked a wall with his horn, as if to direct our attention to the spot. He's the smartest of us all, I swear to God. Fucking Uniseal is the most intelligent. His tiny horn was pointed at a small engraving etched onto the wall. Is it a mural? No, these aren't just pictures. I've seen these in the GPM database before. They're ancient Beastian characters. Kororo turned around, seeing that we had taken notice of the hieroglyphics.
What in the hell?
Kororo had the mural to his back. Then he began to speak in a manner those of us who normally interacted with him at Enchante had never heard before. The lively mood among our expedition party was replaced by solemn, focused attention. Where I have to fucking talk in a Kororo voice now? Okay. I thought, Kiu!
Now I have to speak. A long time ago, this ice came. We should actually do a voice like. Okay, we're gonna do that. I don't think I could do a whole entire sentence like, we stood I can't read like that. I have to make noises as Kororo, and I can do food, Ignis, but to actually do real words, like a whole sentence, he gonna have fucking whatever voice. It's said in a manner we never heard, right? We stood, fully entranced by the little creature, as if it were about to recite a lengthy tale. So began the little creature. Far past, Beastia,
he said to the group as he waddled alongside the mural, narrating it. Unless he's talking in broken... One day, human came. Okay, no, I can't do this whole thing in his voice. I can't do that voice, so we're just gonna...
But, Beastia, already... Fire wolf there. Wolf sleep. Wolf human.
Whoa. This is some furry porn. Okay, you know what? Sorry, kids, we can't get into this.
Wake up and food. Lots. Eat.
All of us jerked in reaction to hearing him speak so clearly. Kororo, unfazed, continued.
Wolf are Vinitriu.
Vinitriu? Vinitriu?
Tigrish.
Conch?
Ignis. Wolf. Food. Eat. Become.
As if to signal the end of his story, Kororo cried out as he usually did, and you're like, okay, so there was a human and a bee and a thing, and they fell asleep, and now they eat what? When you say sleep! Kororo, what's gotten into you all of a sudden? He seems different somehow, as if coming here awoke something inside of him.
It's cool and all, but why did he mention the firewolves in my name out of nowhere?
Also, are these werecats like Dromi? On a whim, I glance once more at the mural, where I begin to parse. Various beasts and men, illustrated in all manners of situations. Each depiction, I noticed, had wolves donned in flames, connecting each one. Perhaps Kororo is following the contents of the mural and attaching words to the images.
Sure sounded like it. He even trotted alongside the pictures.
This shrine must be ancient. Ignis, does any of it look familiar to you?
Nope. Couldn't tell you the first thing these pictures mean. The ancient text is too blurry to make out. What if this was all from some kid who came and vandalized the wall?
I think the pictures look too purposeful for that to be the case. But that's exactly why if you were going to sneak into a freaking secret cave and you were gonna, do some you don't just do graffiti. You paint, ancient murals with pictorial so it looks something important and then people forever are like, it's something important! It's like, what is that code? There's something, it's like a document. It's like fucking, like, old as shit, and it's like in some kind of cipher code, but no one can figure out what the fuck, and it's like this huge mystery, like, what is this? Somebody like literally just wrote a bunch of random shit and was like, someday someone, it's gonna be like 100 years from now, and people are gonna be like racking their brains trying to figure it out, and it's just fucking gibberish. I'm just saying. I actually joked with someone at work about that once. The conversation kind of spiraled out of control, but it basically got down to the point where it was like, yes, that's what you do before you die. Like, you just leave random notes all over, like, they'll never find the location, and then leave code and just random shit so that people, when they go through your shit when they're dead, is like, what does this mean? And it's just really fucking nothing. It's just post-its with random shit that you stuck all over to fuck with people. You know. That, and also, like, no one's gonna know my passwords for shit. So, like, it's gonna be like, oh, she's got all these fucking, I don't know what the fuck about. Like, god damn it. Like, you know. I'm just gonna leave everything to be a huge pain in the ass when I'm dead, so. You're welcome, everybody who has to deal with it. Well, I'm gonna be dead, like, I give a fuck? Come on. Also, those cryptic post-it notes, they'll never find the bodies. I feel like when you put them all together, it tells like this, what is going on? But you're never going to find that last one that tells you the secret of like either where the bodies are buried or where all the money is or whatever. It's going to drive you fucking crazy. You have like the last couple of numbers of an account is just, the paper's ripped and it's just magically gone, but you'll never find it. Just to fuck with people. Just for the hell of it. So, you know, absolutely. Ignis is right. Someone could have come in here and done this just to fuck with people. But it kind of works, right? Anyway. Obviously, that's not what's happening here, but still. Anyway. Here's a thought. Why don't we take the words that Kororo mentioned earlier and rephrase them in our own terms? Huh? Why should we bother? Well, humor me for a second. It must connect to you somehow. Couldn't hurt to try, right? Fine, if you insist. But how should we rephrase it? I replayed Kororo's presentation in my head. If I could summon what exactly Kororo said, I could imitate the words for everyone. Far past, Bestia. One day, human came. Simple enough. He referred, of course, to ancient Bestia. Next, he said, one day, humans came. In other words, in the ancient times, humans had visited Bestia. See? We are always showing up and fucking shit up! We let a plant go into fucking Canis's world and it created a monster tree that eats people. And we're in here and we created fucking Ignis? Or the weird animal-beast hybrids because people were getting busy with the actual fire wolves? Like, good God, human beings are fucked up. In ancient times, people were like, yeah, furries. I mean... I'm just saying, that's some fucked up shit, people. Anyway. Ancient times humans had visited Bestia. Okay, we read that, I think. Yes, fantastic. Let's expand the thoughts into proper sentences to decipher the meaning. I hate to be a bother, but could you help us remember what Kororo said? Of course. I will replay my memories. Il immediately obliged Miser's request. He began to repeat Kororo's exact words effortlessly. Far past, Bestia. One day, human came. But Bestia already. Fire, wolf, there. Wolf, sleep. Wolf, human. Wake up and... Food. Lots. Eat. Wolf are Vinitriu. Tigrish. Conch? Ignis. Wolf. Food. Eat. Become. If we do what we did earlier to interpret Kororo's meaning... A long time ago, humans visited Bestia. Yeah, we got that, Canis. By already, did he mean originally? Could it mean that the wolves of legend were dormant in Bestia at the time? Perhaps the arrival of the mankind woke these wolves from hibernation, and they partook in a bountiful feast afterward. They were firewolves. They were firewolf. The werecat watched. Ignis is a wolf. When he eats, these qualities are enhanced. Is that right? Yep. I think that just about covers it. The Wolf of Flames. That must be what's drawn here on the mural.
The beginning part sounds like an old fairy tale, so why did he mention food all of a sudden? Maybe the guys who came to Beastia gave food to the wolves as an offering?
I don't know the details, but the wolves mentioned here, going by their name and description, could refer to Ignis's ancestors, right? Oh, that's right! The fact it refers to what appear to be ancient firewolves aligned with Ignis perfectly. It even mentions them eating. Plus, Kororo even mentioned that the wolf refers to the firewolves clearly. Mr. Rindo let out a sigh in contemplation and placed his hand beneath his chin. So, let me get this straight. Because humans fed Ignis's ancestors, their descendants can eat food too?
What a huge joke!
I mean, it sounds a little fucking weird. You're like, that's a little odd. However, everything else the little creature said is still unclear. Right. This doesn't change what we know about Ignis. We knew he's a beast, didn't we? We knew he was a beast, didn't we? Yeah. Besides, what about the werecat part? It watches, as in it watches over someone? Perhaps it referred to a werecat companion. Maybe Dromi knows something since he's a werecat? And as soon as I said that... Cold! Suddenly, a freezing cold drop of water splashed onto my forehead. Whoa! That scared me. I suspected some of the flames radiating from Ignis's body melted the ice on the ceiling. I tested my hypothesis by glancing upward, but when I did... Look! There's a mural up there, too!
What?
As my voice bounced around the stony cave, everyone looked up in unison. What we saw was... a giant firewolf. In other words, Ignis's ancestors, they look like they're destroying everything. They're eating everything. You see them eating people? It was a majestic, breathtaking depiction. It appeared to be swallowing what looked like other beasts and humans, one after the other. I mean, fire does consume things. Makes sense. Was it? We lowered our heads and looked around. All of a sudden, Miser's face, which seemed hopeful and cheery just a moment ago, became stern. Hey, Ignis. If I remember correctly, the firewolves have been persecuted and attacked for several generations, right?
Yeah, all because of some stupid tradition. What about it?
Well, when you think about it, that doesn't make much sense, does it? The rest of the firewolves, other than you, should be decently formidable in battle. In other words, there had to be other ones just like you a long time ago, right? So why have your people settled in the furthest corner of the icy border as if you're exiled? Could it mean...
Well, it's obvious, isn't it?
I'm assuming it's Dromi.
The ancient beasts imprison the firewolves to protect themselves from their own destruction. We werecats were assigned to watch them in this prison, passing as their neighbors.
Yeah, I knew it was Dromi. God, I didn't trust him! Suddenly a voice echoed from the entrance. An ominous interruption, dotted by footsteps. Grrr! Grrr! I can't do his angry gurring. Anyway, Kororo stood in front of the mural, growling at the figure in the dark as if to ward them away. There was only one person at whom I'd ever known Kororo to growl at like that. The shadow appeared, opening his arms in a wide and exaggerated manner, as if to welcome us.
Now, fellas. Great job at making it here. This shrine's been under werecat protection for a millennia, but it's been forgotten. The Shrine of Record.
He raised his voice, beaming with what appeared to be pride.
Dromi?
What happened? Weren't you back at the Firewolf stronghold?
Oh, don't worry about that. I've already taken care of all the business over there.
Dromi said as much with a wide but disconcerting smile. He killed them all. Something about him unsettled me. Something I couldn't place. I told you he was a shady son of a fucking bitch! Venia kind of fucked this up for everybody. But I said as much to him bluntly. You're scaring me. Grrr! Grrr! It's hard. Q! Grrr! The werecat stared back at Kororo, who continued to growl, and he let out a heavy sigh.
Man, what a shame. I was hoping to reveal everything to my bro in a big, once-in-a-lifetime way. But I never expected Kororo would be the one to spoil the big surprise. So the reason you separated from the group was because you swam all the way here?
Ignis stepped forward as if in Kororo's defense, despite still processing the big reveal.
Enough, Dromy. Mind telling us what the hell you're blabbering about? We're waiting. What do you mean by surprise? And what did you mean when you said other beasts imprison the firewolves at the border to prevent destruction? Huh? Seems pretty obvious.
Dromy offered a casual rebuttal, as if it was any other conversation. So, but all the Oh my god, did Ignis take out the other... like, werecats? But the thing is Dromy's the only one, and he's not doing a good fucking job, because he can't keep tabs on Ignis, and that's why he enlisted the help of other people to take Ignis down, because they're all like, no, because you kill and eat us, you freak! Okay.
I mean, it's basically what the Minotaurs are trying to do as we speak. Doesn't make the situation any less lame, but since they're aware of how sticky this has been since old times, they're trying to protect Beastia the only way they know how. From the total destruction, aka Ignis. Like I said, you're not making any sense, you stupid tiger! Quit with the riddles and answer the damn question in my face! I would, but you already know everything. You guys figured out what's written on the ceiling. It's all pretty clear, you know?
Normally Dromy would shrink or run at the sound of Ignis's threats, but he didn't bat an eyelash, nor did he flinch as Ignis screamed in anger. He was no longer the coward hiding behind Ignis, relying upon him for strength, because he's been faking it this whole time.
However, I will oblige. You're my inspiration, bro. I'll lay it out just as you asked. Listen, that's the ancestor of the firewolves drawn there on the ceiling? That monster once brought Beastia to the brink of annihilation because it slaughtered man and beast alike. Monster?
That was...
Now do you understand? Ignis, you are in Beastia nothing but a monster.
Ignis recalled the fated conversation. So, what you're suggesting is that in Ignis's rampage instinct...
Bingo! You got it. He got it from this ancient monster. Having said that, my bro here is the only firewolf that seems to be carrying on his ancestors' legacy.
Dromy, judging by the way you speak, have you known about Ignis's rampage instinct all along?
Of course! When it comes to my bro, I know everything. In the past, I saw it all. I watched my bro commit mass murder, and I never said a peep. What?
His confession rang as words of betrayal to Ignis. I mean, seriously? He's been spying on you and he's just been lying to you this whole time. Like, I guess it's okay that he was a pain in your fucking ass. Now you won't... No, kill him. Kill him, Ignis.
You know everything and kept this quiet this entire time?
Why? For what purpose?
Well, I could have told you, but... Well, more importantly, you think it's smart leaving the firewolves alone right now? When Kororo took all of his little friends on that wild goose chase, I might have told the Minotaurs. I'm at a good hunting spot around here. For old time's sake, you know.
Dromy. No. He said as much with a chuckle. Because they've hidden them and then the werecats were supposed to, like, they're like your prisoners. You keep them locked up. But then why would you... Well, that's, like, the weirdest thing. Why would you just not take them all out? I mean, I guess every other beast wanted to, but maybe because originally the werecats, like the weretigers and like the firewolves and like whatever were all like, okay, we're all like one, you know what, we'll keep them in the corner and we'll keep them out of your way and they'll just be over here until they die out, and then just, like, whatever. It's just really weird that they even bothered protecting them technically, like, they were banished, why But if it's kill or be killed, why didn't everyone in Beastia just kill them all? I guess because they couldn't? But then the were-tiger, so you're trying to tell me that Dromy is stronger than Ignis, technically? Because otherwise, Ignis, we could just clock it in the face and we're done. I don't know. Ignis's face dropped, and he immediately sprinted toward the shrine's entrance. Ignis, wait!
After him. We can't let Ignis go alone. Hold your horses. The audience isn't allowed to get up on stage.
Dromy lowered his shoulders, as if on cue. Then a deranged band of minotaurs came rushing into the cave. Oh my god, when Miser gets dark like that, like, the darkness on that side of his butt is just amazing. You're like, oh, he looks so dangerous. It's like... Spacey, take Kororo and stand back.
No, I have a better idea. Get out of here. We can't afford to slip up. One wrong move and we could hurt her on accident.
Agreed.
Ill, you're in no shape to fight either. Think you can sneak her out of the Minotaur ambush?
Yes, I should be able to. Spacey, grab Kororo, quick.
Sure. Phew! As soon as I wrapped Kororo in my arms, Ill carried me in turn. Just as a Minotaur charged at us from behind, Ill kicked at the ground. He flew, nearly scraping the ceiling on the way out so he could escape from the cave. Like, the three of us are useless, Ill. I mean, you're very strong, but you're kind of useless in the snowy territory, so I guess we should just go back to Enchante and just wait for everyone?
Well then, guess I could let the regulars dance around for a bit before I skedaddle. I can't wait. Soon, bro.
This fucking son of a bitch. Chapter 4? No, really? Wow, still in chapter 4. Interesting. I figured the big reveal would be chapter 4, but anyway.
I dashed toward the stronghold, noticing the setting sun plunging Beastia into darkness. I alone illuminated the darkness as I cut through the frigid air, running as fast as my legs would take me. The flames covering my body flared wildly, mirroring the chaos that stormed inside me. Come on, come on, come on! The firewolves had suffered enough, especially in my hands, and I couldn't let their numbers dwindle anymore. I'd been lied to my entire life. I was feared, I was used. It all felt heavy on my shoulders for sure. I felt betrayed, but even so, they were still my kin, the last of my people. I'll never let anything horrible happen to them ever again. And this time I would protect them. And this time I'd save their lives. Oh, my hopes and convictions.
Oh. Oh. I mean, it's the same seam.
Disintegrated in my palm. My eyes were fixated on the scene. Familiar sight I had long since buried. Huts and bodies, charred, as the firewolf torches waned in the distance. Blood and soot soaked the snow. Not a single firewolf was spared.
Oh no! We made some of the we got some of the fairies out. Jesus!
The man I called Uncle all these years tumbled on the ground, disposed of, forgotten. What I saw there instead were the Minotaurs, hacking at their opponents relentlessly, showing no mercy to whomever stood in their way.
This is the time where you let your rage take over and you slaughter the fuck out of them. Don't knock them out. Kill them all, Ignis. Teach them a lesson. See, I would just let the rage win, and he's gonna be better and be like, I'm not gonna kill you, and I'd be like, nah, you're all gonna fucking die! Like, that's why I'm not a firewolf, that's all I'm saying.
Their eyes, they were clouded, disgusting. As soon as they noticed my presence, their eyes bulged open.
Again, they're probably drugged, and I guarantee you, Dromy drugged them, because we haven't gotten to the drug, we forgot about the drugging thing, right?
My vision went red. My heart was ready to burst from my chest. Searing heat covered my body, a sensation that radiated from my body's core.
And here's the thing that I hate, though. Like, Spacey's gonna come along and be like, no, Ignis, don't kill anyone! And it's like, I would 100% be behind her. No, Ignis, don't kill anyone because it's going to hurt you. You're going to be hurt by doing that. But if he's like, no, I'll be fine. All right, go kill the motherfuckers. I'm behind you 100%. I'll forget. No, sweetie, it was okay. You did what you had to do. I'm not mad at you. I'm not afraid of you. You killed those motherfuckers and you killed them good. I would only want to stop him because he would feel the guilt afterward. Like, oh my God, I feel so awful. Like, is this going to cause you to need therapy afterward? No, you're going to be good. Okay, go for it.
Searing heat covered my body, a sensation that radiated from my body's core. If I were to give in to this heat...
Ignis!
There could be only one outcome.
Yeah, well, all the firewolves are already dead, so it's not like you have to worry about accidentally killing your kin. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying.
Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't kill! Hold it in!
In the future, violence doesn't have to be the answer. I want to believe in a future where we live in peace. Yeah, but like now the violence is kind of justified. This is why I'm not a great human being. I really feel like right now the violence is kind of it's never justified. It really isn't. But like this is not the norm. This isn't the human realm. This is Bestia, and violence is how this world works. So I'm just saying, when in Rome, right?
Don't betray myself in the future she believed in. And it was useless. I was submitting to my base self. Ah, yes. I remember now. Each time that I lost my sanity or came close to doing so, it involved the smell of blood. No. An appetizing aroma filled my nostrils, consumed my waking thoughts. My rampage instinct lay dormant inside me, crying out its cravings. It commanded me and wanted me to feed. Upon every living being in sight.
I can't really blame him for this. I know we're supposed to be like, oh no! Ignis, no! But it's like, you know what? They kind of deserved it. So anyway, we're going to end here at the Ignis, no! But like me, the bad human being that I am, is like, nah, fuck him. Take him out, Ignis. I'm not a good person. like in reality, you wouldn't be like, yeah, kill him. But like, this is Bestia and it's kill or be killed, right? So, you know what? I know that they were drugged, kinda. So I guess in that one case, we could be like, well, they were drugged, so it's not really they're 100% their fault. But at the same time, like, I think they would have killed you anyway. So like, just saying. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.